Hello agriculture enthusiasts. Today we will explore some incredible moments in agriculture together. Get ready to witness stunning scenes from the harvest season, where the fruits of labour are gathered. Around June or July, when raspberries turn sweet and red, it's the perfect time for harvest. A raspberry harvester moves along each row of raspberry bushes. On both sides of the machine, there are sets of plastic rods that shake the bushes, knocking the ripe berries off the plants. As the berries fall, they land on a conveyor belt. Here, farmers sort them, removing any leaves and unripe fruit. The berries are placed into flat trays instead of buckets to prevent bruising. The green fruits are still on the tree. 2 days later, the harvesters return to the same field to collect the newly ripened beans. Next, we move to the raisin vineyards, where grapes are primarily used for wine production and confectionery. Between mid-August and October is when grape leaves turn brown and wither, and is the ideal time for harvesting. Agricultural machinery, operated by skilled workers, moves through the rows of vines. The machinery shakes plastic rods to dislodge the raisins. These then fall and are collected into the harvester's conveyor belt. The shaking process also minimizes damage to the vines. The harvesting machines are equipped with essential cleaning features. During the process, leaves and green shoots are separated from the conveyor system. Finally, the high-quality raisins are transferred into truck containers. The sweet corn harvest in California runs from June to October, during the milk stage of the kernels. Corn from this state is highly valued for its freshness and flavour. The harvester's cutting head is adjusted to the optimal height and position to match the crop's height and row spacing. The machine then cuts the corn stalks while its rollers feed them into the harvester. The advent of these machines has been a game changer, significantly reducing the need for manual labour and shortening the time required to clean the fields. In 2023, the United States harvested approximately 340,000 acres of sweet corn. After planting, cabbages take around 75 to 90 days to be ready for harvest. On large farms, farmers use cabbage harvesters to supply the fresh produce market. As the machines move through the cabbage rows, a special blade trims the leaves and roots of the cabbages. After cutting, the cabbages are transferred onto the conveyor belt. During this process, excess leaves fall back onto the field. Workers stationed on the machine inspect and remove substandard cabbages on the spot. A mechanical harvester can replace an entire manual workforce, harvesting dozens of acres a day. This method also helps to minimize the risk of damage to the cabbage. Cotton harvesters are designed to process multiple rolls of cotton simultaneously, often up to 6 rows. This significantly speeds up the harvesting process. The machine's front unit handles all the work. As it moves across the field, rotating metal spindles wrap around the cotton fibres, pulling them from the plants. The cotton is then transferred onto a large onboard container, reducing the need for frequent stops to unload. Modern cotton pickers come equipped with an onboard module system. As the cotton is harvested, it is compressed into large bales, ready to be transported to processing facilities. Now we are at a wheat field in western New York. Tractors and balers work together to collect straw from the fields and compress it into small square bales. These bales are easy to transport and are ideal to use as bedding material. The square baler gathers dry straw and other materials from the ground and feeds them into a baling chamber. A piston moves back and forth, compressing the collected straw into a compact square tube. Small square bales are neatly stacked on the field.
نيفيا ناتشرال جلو مع 95% من الفيتامين سي الخالص يمنح بشرتك إشراقة طبيعية وترطيب بدون طول اليوم ويوحد اللون في أسبوعين بس.
The field. Then they are bundled into larger units using automatic bale collectors. Here's a carrot harvest taking place in California. The harvester begins the process by moving along the rows of carrots. It uses blades to cut the roots of the carrot plants. Immediately after, the carrots are pulled from the soil and transferred into an adjacent truck. The harvester ensures the carrots are harvested correctly without damage, improving product quality and maximizing farmers' profits. It also reduces labor and saves time when compared to manual harvesting. China produces around 31 billion pounds of peanuts annually. Typically, after 120 days, peanuts are harvested when the leaves turn yellow, signaling that the pods have fully developed. Harvesters use underground blades to uproot the entire peanut plant. At the same time, the harvester incorporates a shaking mechanism to remove soil clinging to the peanuts. Once uprooted, the plants are inverted and laid on the rows to dry under the sun. It usually takes 2 to 4 days for the peanuts to reach optimal dryness. At this point, a peanut picker moves through the field, gathering the dry plants onto a conveyor system. A rotating mechanism separates the peanuts from the vines and leaves. Finally, a screening system sorts the peanuts by size. Now let's head to Iran, one of the world's leading producers of pistachios. The peak harvesting season typically occurs in September and October. Harvesting machines grip the tree trunk and shake it, causing the pistachios to fall. Operators can adjust the shaking intensity, damaging the trees. The fallen pistachios are caught by automatic collection trays placed around the base of the tree. This minimizes ground contact and keeps the nuts clean. Mechanical harvesters often feature built-in systems to separate leaves and twigs from the nuts. The pistachios are then transferred onto a conveyor belt for preliminary sorting directly in the field. Massive machines move across large coffee plantations in a short amount of time, ensuring the coffee is harvested properly at its peak ripeness. As the machine moves through the rows of coffee plants, vibrating components are adjusted to gently shake the coffee branches. This process causes ripe coffee cherries to fall off the plants. This machine is designed to target only ripe cherries, minimizing the collection of unripe ones. Harvesting machines play a crucial role in the growth of the Brazil coffee industry. The country is expected to produce 66.3 million bags of coffee for the 2023-2024 season, accounting for nearly 40% of the global supply. Did you know that the world produces around 105 billion pounds of onions annually? On average, a person consumes nearly 14 pounds of onion per year. India is the largest onion producer, with an annual output of 58,000 pounds. Indian onions are famous for their distinctive spiciness and year-round availability. Onion harvesters are equipped with a square-shaped rotating shaft that moves counter to the harvester's direction. It operates below ground, loosening the onions from the soil and preparing them for collection. As the rollers lift the onions onto the harvester, they are placed onto a conveyor belt with small holes to remove excess soil and onion leaves. The onions are then transferred into a container attached to the harvester. This process ensures a large harvest yield with minimal damage. Now let's visit the pineapple fields. Around 85% of the world's pineapples come from Asia, with China, Indonesia and the Philippines being the top producers. During harvest time, farmers typically begin early in the morning to avoid the midday heat, ensuring the pineapples retain their freshness. As the truck moves slowly along the pineapple rows, farmers follow alongside, placing freshly packed pineapples onto the vehicle's conveyor belt. The fruits are carefully stacked into crates for transport to packing facilities. This method saves time and effort, reducing the need for manually carrying large quantities of pineapples from the field. Now it's time to savour the delightful taste of citrus fruits. The citrus harvest season in Texas typically takes place from November to January each year. The best time to harvest is in the early morning or late afternoon when the weather is cooler, reducing stress on the trees. Farmers use harvesting baskets and ladders to pick fruit from tall citrus trees without the need to climb them. Before picking, farmers inspect the fruit to ensure that it's ripe. Ripe citrus fruits have a taut, glossy skin and a distinctive aroma. Once the baskets are full, the fruit is transported to the nearest collection point and emptied into large containers. In addition to citrus, the United States is also a leading peach producer, with California accounting for around 75% of the national yield. In 2023, the US harvested around 1.4 billion pounds of peaches, most of which were consumed domestically. Instead of using machinery, farmers often harvest peaches by hand. This manual process requires careful handling to prevent damage to the fruit. Farmers use ladders to reach peaches at the tops of the trees, ensuring the fruit is picked before birds or small mammals get to them. The avocado harvest in Mexico is at its peak. Located in the heart of Mexico's volcanic belt, these avocado trees thrive and produce high yields. Harvesters use poles to pick avocados directly from the trees. During the process, farmers are careful to avoid bruising the fruit. Quality control is maintained throughout the avocado's growth and harvesting stages. If an avocado falls to the ground, it is not eligible for export. This rigorous process has allowed Mexico's avocado industry to flourish. In 2024, the country's avocado production is forecast to reach 6.1 billion pounds in order to meet export demands. Long poles with attached blades are used to harvest coconuts from tree trunks. Farmers aim these poles at mature coconut clusters, applying force to cut the clusters from the tree. In some coconut plantations, canals are dug between the rows in order to catch falling coconuts, reducing impact during harvesting. Farmers carefully calculate the force and direction of their pulls. The canals also help with counting and ease of transportation. Coconuts are typically harvested at a soft stage to extract coconut water. Since coconut trees produce fruit regularly, farmers can harvest monthly. This consistent yield helps boost their income and supports the domestic coconut market. Lastly, let's explore mango harvesting in Thailand. The best time to harvest mangoes is in the early morning or late evening when temperatures are cooler. This reduces the likelihood of fruit damage. Farmers use poles with attached nets to catch the fruit and prevent it from falling and bruising. They leave the stems attached to the fruit for better preservation. Mango trees range from 30 to 40 feet in height, making harvesting challenging. Farmers use elevated ladders or equipment to access mangoes on the treetops. On large mango farms, a harvest team usually consists of 10 to 20 people. They pick and sort the mangoes on site. The team works in coordination to ensure a quick and efficient harvest while maintaining a high product quality. Modern farmers have many different equipment options for agricultural activities, from ploughs, lawnmowers to harvesters, and they all meet the needs of livestock farmers and industrial-scale farming operations. Now let's go to the fields to see how farmers use heavy machinery. The first is the plough, which is usually operated by a tractor. The plough breaks up hard soil to a depth of 6 to 16 centimeters by cutting, lifting, and reversing the blade. Ploughs come in many different types of blades, designed for a certain type of tillage and soil type. These blades break up soil clumps, making the soil surface flatter and cleaner. It also loosens the soil by turning it over, making seeding much easier. At the same time, it provides space and nutrients for new plants. Usually, ploughing is done at the end of the harvesting process. The purpose of this technique is to remove weeds and remnants of the previous crop, so as not to affect the growth of the plant. In this way, farmers can soften the soil and gradually prepare it for their next crop. Ploughing is one of the most important soil management practices. A new field will be impermeable and lacking in oxygen. Therefore, ploughing increases porosity, which is essential for the circulation of water, oxygen, and other organic matter. At the same time, it reduces the activity of parasitic animals that hinder plant growth. All of these benefits can be delivered without increasing fuel costs and without causing a major impact on the environment. Conventional ploughing rarely exceeds 20 centimeters. Meanwhile, deep ploughs can plough to a depth greater than 50 centimeters. Deep ploughing changes soil structure and drainage. At the same time, it restores the ideal structure of the soil. The plough turns the soil over and leaves space on the surface for a new field where there was none before. Similar to a shallow plough, it also supports the birth and growth of new plants in the future. In fact, the plants will be able to find suitable space to grow its roots. Additionally, deep ploughing tends to provide better control of many perennial weeds than shallow ploughing. Grasslands harvested per hectare provide at least 85% of the profits for most farms, and this is the cheapest form of feed. Machines were developed to maintain and harvest abundant grass in the spring and summer. At the same time, they create high productivity of quality green forage. Farmers can use simple bar mowers. They use a reciprocating knife. Meanwhile, rotary mowers use rotating discs to harvest quickly. After cutting, the grass is collected on trucks and brought to the farm, meeting the fresh food needs of livestock. During the summer months, grass grows vigorously and is often harvested by livestock farms. Warm, dry weather is the ideal time to harvest grass for silage. Farmers can leave grass in the field for several hours until it withers. This reduces the humidity. The grass is then collected and piled in a pile in the farmyard. These machines compress the grass tightly to remove as much air as possible, or roll it into large bales. Whatever method is used, the fresh grass will be covered with a plastic sheet and sealed to remove as much oxygen as possible. Over several months, the bacteria in the grass will ferment effectively. Harvested grass can also be dried in the field. The farmer will return in a few days, and the hay harvester will help bale the hay. Farmers collect and stack bales with just one tractor, while significantly reducing the pressure on fields from moving heavy machinery. Grapes are delicate and easily damaged by heavy machinery. This is an extremely effective combination. Most commercial harvesters use roller beaters or stem vibrators to remove the fruit from the vine. Their main attack uses a flexible, horizontal twin bar to hit the tree canopy and shake it to make the grapes fall out. In some regions, mechanical harvesting reduces labour costs by up to 75%. Machines move through grape beds and vibrate the vines so the grapes fall onto the conveyor belt. Once collected, impurities are removed through a series of networks. The amount of grapes collected will immediately be put through trucks to be transported to the processing plant. This mechanical harvesting method is used exclusively for white grapes. It is estimated that a machine can pick a hectare in about 5 hours. Meanwhile, manual labour can take from 1 to 10 days to harvest the same area. Harvesters can also run 24 hours a day. Mechanical harvesting is often more cost effective, and it is well suited for large vineyards located on flat land. When using a harvester, the grapes may become cold more quickly than when picked by hand. These machines are often equipped with lights to support harvesting at night. This helps farmers to shorten harvest time, especially during peak periods. If the grape stays on the vine for too long, it will quickly spoil. Although machinery supports almost all harvesting activities, farmers often check before operating the machine. They must ensure that the machine has enough fuel, all the lights are working, has good tire pressure, as well as to ensure that the brakes are working properly. They will also check for any hydraulic leaks and make any necessary repairs. Similar to grapes, farmers use peanut harvesters to harvest peanuts. This can effectively save labour and reduce labour intensity. Jobs that usually take days or even weeks as manual labour can now be done in a few hours. However, during harvesting, there are some higher requirements for adjusting soil parameters. In wet soil areas, mechanised operations with high resistance and high power consumption will easily remove impurities. To start harvesting, farmers use a peanut digger to go through each row. The machine is equipped with a blade to cut roots from the lower part of the plant. The rotating spikes on the machine dig into the soil and invert the plant so that it is lined up on the ground. The peanuts face to the side. Peanuts can be left in the field for a few days to dry. When the moisture content is about 10%, it's time to collect them with the combine. The harvester passes by, and the peanuts are quickly transferred to the back door by rollers, keeping them from sinking into the soil. A vibrating screen is designed to help remove impurities as soon as the peanuts are collected on the machine. Machines help to remove peanuts from the vines and also help to remove extra dirt from the peanuts. As the combine passes through the rows, it blows the peanuts into a container and spreads the dry peanut stalks back into the soil. The peanut harvester combines digging, lifting, and reversing operations in one seamless process. It is especially good at not breaking peanuts. The breakage rate is less than 1%. At the same time, its peanut picking rate can reach up to 98%. This saves a lot of labour costs.